Hey, folks, it's a Bengals Blitz. I'm Tito, Jeff Thitoff. Follow me on Twitter, @ThitHappens. Download the free FanStream Sports app powered by DSP Media, free for Apple and Android users. Go check it out. Round-the-clock programming. Lots of new stuff happening all the time with FanStream Sports. So make sure you go and check that out. Also, go to the new webpage. We got a great new webpage out, fanstreamsports.com. Go and check that out as well. And you can see all the different things we have going on. Lots of written content out there. But we're adding new stuff all the time. FanStream Sports Facebook page, also something you want to check out. All right, let's talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. And they are trying to salvage their season. And the way I look at it is this. I'll get into the details of the trade in just a moment. There was a guy I used to work with, and he was sometimes a pretty hard worker, very passionate. And the saying was that this guy would run through a brick wall for you, but it'd probably be the wrong brick wall. I feel like the Bengals are doing that with the move they made today. They're trying to run through a brick wall for their fans and for their players, but it's the wrong brick wall. In this case, the brick wall, quarterback Joe Flacco. The Bengals traded a 5th-round pick in next year's draft for Joe Flacco and a 6th-round pick in next year's draft. So quarterback Joe Flacco goes from Cleveland to Cincinnati, stays in the state of Ohio, and Flacco gets there now. It was just earlier this week it was when Zach Taylor, had said he wasn't really sure about if Jake Brown's going to be the starter going forward. So Bengals make this deal. The Bengals lost all 3 games since Joe Burrow got hurt back in week 2. They've been outscored 113-37 in 3 games that Jake Browning's been the starter. He's also 8 interceptions. I think what total is on that now. And what's interesting about it is that they're making this trade on the week where they finally got Jamar Chase involved in the way he should be. They lost 37-24 to Detroit, but Jamar Chase had 6 catches for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. So this week the Bengals are in Green Bay before they host the Steelers on a short week, a Thursday night contest. It makes sense from the standpoint of you're getting a veteran quarterback in between 9 days for these 2 games. Green Bay on the road. Flacco's won on the road before, obviously. Steelers in Cincinnati on the Thursday night on the short week after that. So there's a familiarity there, and the fact you've got a veteran quarterback in there certainly helps things out. But I don't know if it's going to be enough for what the Bengals are looking for. They got to get Chase Brown going. Chase Brown has been non-existent this year. When you look at it, part of it could be because of the fact that the offensive line is bad. And now you're adding a quarterback who's not mobile. Offensive line in Cincinnati has struggled big time. Chase Brown's, I think, averaging like a little over 33 yards a game this year is all. So he's not rushing the ball that well. And a lot is because, a couple of reasons. One, because they're playing behind, but also just because the offensive line has been so bad. So they have to get Chase Brown going. Getting Joe Flacco does not necessarily ensure that Chase Brown will be able to get going in the way they need him to. I don't know if the Bengals inquired about other backup quarterbacks, if they reached out to the Giants at all about Jameis or about Russell Wilson. I don't know if they talked to anybody else and tried to make a move somewhere. But when you look at what the Bengals, what kind of quarterback they need behind a bad offensive line, they need a more mobile quarterback, and they did not get that with Joe Flacco. So I think it's going to be a struggle for them in that regard, too. The other thing you have to look at, too, it's not, look, this one trade for the quarterback is not going to help out the defense. The defense this year, the Bengals are 30th in yards allowed per game among 32 teams. They're also allowing 31 points per game. They've committed the most turnovers in the league with 11. But they sit here now at 2-3, and they're a game and a half behind the 3-1 Steelers. And they get a chance to pick up a game when they play them here a week from Thursday. Play in Cincinnati. I don't mean play them here. Play them a week from Thursday in Cincinnati. So it's going to be a tough game for them this week for the Bengals going against the Packers on the road. Does Flacco give them a better chance to win? I don't think he does. Only from the standpoint of it might be a push. I don't expect Flacco to turn the ball over with the same regularity that Browning did. Browning had, in the last game there against Detroit, he had 3 interceptions and also fumbled once, although the Bengals did recover the fumble. Flacco should be safer with the football. But unless they figure out a way to get that running game going and find out a way to protect Joe Flacco. And yes, Joe Flacco is going against Micah Parsons in that Packers defense. If they can find a way to do those things, they've got a puncher's chance against Green Bay. I don't think it will happen. And then you get the Steelers, and the Steelers' defense has been on a roll lately. You saw what they did against Minnesota right before the bye week, and now the Steelers have got they get the Browns this week, which is damn near a bye week. But then they get the Bengals after that, and this Steelers defense is really starting to play well, and so is their offensive line. So it's going to be tough. I applaud the Bengals for taking a shot, for trying to get someone in there, because they realize, as the rest of us did, Jake Browning's not the answer at quarterback for this Bengals team. I don't think it was the right choice to make, them going out there and getting Joe Flacco, but I applaud the fact, and Bengals fans should applaud the fact too, that they went out and tried to get somebody. They tried to make a change. After you saw Jamar Chase and Zach Taylor yelling at each other on the sidelines, you could tell that the frustration was starting to mount. And they now have a couple of weeks. If they go 0-2 here, if they fall to 2-5, I think that their playoff hopes are probably shot. They might be shot anyway. But if they can steal a win, if they can steal a home win against Pittsburgh, it changes things dramatically for them, because the Browns are still going to suck. And now we'll talk about the Browns, their quarterback depth chart now, the quarterback room now, what it looks like. The Ravens, who knows, Lamar Jackson, he might miss another game this week, and they are bad with Cooper Rush. And that Ravens defense is also holding them back quite a bit. So the next two games, the Bengals have got about 10 days, 9 or 10 days here to figure out if they are still in contention and how much they should try to rush Joe Burrow back. I'm of the belief that they shouldn't try to rush it back if they go 0-2 here and fall out of the race. Again, not much confidence. They need to see something out of Chase Brown, though. That's going to be key, and the defense has to play better. That's it for the Bengals Blitz. Follow me on Twitter @FitHappens. I'm Jeff Tito. Download the app. Free for Apple and Android users. Fantasy Sports app powered by DSP Media. We'll see what happens with the Bengals going forward. The big news, Joe Flacco acquired from the Browns. They give up a 5th-round pick in 2026 for Flacco and a number